Welcome to Heralds of Elysium, a tabletop channel from Loot and Lattes. Let's talk cards, decks, and tactics.
Hello and welcome.
We are here for episode 2, I guess, of what do you think we're gonna name this thing? Just
I don't know. We're open to suggestions on this.
are we? I thought this was a dictatorship and they're they're just supposed to watch.
Suggestions doesn't mean they get a vote,
True.
and they don't get credit for their suggestions, like a
Yes.
proper dictatorship.
Well, some people might get a credit if they give a really good one.
Makes me think of Bring It Down. This isn't a cheertatorship. This is a cheerocracy. It's not a cheerocracy. This is cheertatorship.
I've never seen that movie.
Ever seen Bring It Down? Okay.
I don't watch movies.
Clearly. That's okay. I don't play video games, so
That's
fair enough.
That's fair. But this week, what did you do in the last week?
I did the running D&D at Alamo Draft House.
Okay.
That was fun. It was a little love story. I totally could not read the list of fairies they could fall in love with and their benefits, so I just made them up. But
Fair enough.
my players enjoyed it, and it was fun.
Was there any bards trying to get down to bard action?
No, actually, we didn't have the bards, but
No bards in a romance?
one of the fairies is like the ultimate betrayer in the end, but fell in love with them. So I had everybody roll dice at different stages to figure out like
Okay.
highs and lows and stuff like that. And then it was there, and the player who's one was betraying, oh damn it, mine's the betrayer. That sucks. So it was pretty good times.
Okay.
And then Wednesday we played in our locals. I took second in that.
Yeah. I think it was just a coin flip of who got second and first because our tiebreakers were the exact same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you beat me, so that's why.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
tiebreakers would be better than mine.
Yeah. Well, no, our tiebreakers were still the exact same. It's just I beat you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But I mean, we had a new player. That was fun, interesting.
I wouldn't say he's new to us,
Well,
but
yeah, but
he,
I don't
he's-
mean like new player to the game. But yeah, he's
Yeah.
new to us, new to our scene. Come back and forth there and there.
Yeah, he was from a different state, so just going up, playing in a random local, and we
It was
had,
good to see a deck that we don't have around and thought processes from other regions. That was
yeah,
refreshing.
and I got to punish him for discarding Few Awakening every single game that I played against him.
I punished him the other way. He kept holding on to it, and I wasn't punishing him and like or doing anything about it. But it was just always the wrong call. He's
Yeah.
like, I have this to stop you, and I'm like, except for you're at level 2 and not level 3, so it doesn't do damage to me. Like it's fine. You can go ahead and empty out all of your influence.
A few means nothing to me.
Yeah, I was like, that's fantastic. He's like, well, in case you negate me, and I was like, yeah, my ride does not have any negates for you. Just FYI, just
You know what I can't wait? I can't wait for me to pick up CL, open up my first 7 cards in hand, and it's just or I guess you would have to be CL level 1 to discard your entire hand, wouldn't you?
yeah, because it's CL bonus.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So
That card would be ooh.
just imagine you open up 4 liminals and a float in your starting 7. That would be disgusting. Just be like, oh yeah, I get 4 liminal triggers whenever I level to 1.
Yeah. I'll discard 4 liminals, make 2 other things, omens, and then I'll take an extra turn off and then go to level 1 and have unless one of them happen to be a float even, and then you're just like, I'll go to level 1, 4 liminals on the board, draw 4 cards, like
And you do this at the end of their turn?
yeah, not punished whatsoever.
You just have 5 cards and 4 dudes. That's an idea. That's an idea. Just
That's a terrible idea. If you have that kind of luck, you were playing the wrong game. It's called like poker or lottery. Like those are
or it's called stacking your deck.
Yeah.
But no, I ended up playing this weekend in the regionals, which we will be talking about in a little bit. But other than that, I really didn't do much aside from our locals as well. So
But you did you borrowed that newer version of Jin that did
yeah, I played the Winjin at locals, and I swear I've never seen you do anything with that deck, and I somehow just had perfect hands every single game, and I was like, oh well,
Because
Actually,
all my opening hands are all Exia, and then I draw the allies at the end of the game, and like that is the entire wrong order for that deck to do anything.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, in my matches against Seryu, I had two terrible opening hands, and both games I ended up figuring out a way to claw it back to being a competitive game. Game one, I we were just messing around. Me and the Seryu player. I swear we were probably bugging the new guy because we were just laughing the entire set.
They seemed all right, but I thought our Siriu player, every time he stops being so careful with his plays, is the one time we have the answer. All
Yeah.
the other times, like if he was more aggressive, we just lose.
We're conditioning him to play bad. We're like, hey, you have the turbo play, and I'm just so happen to be playing Xander. Well, my one of ensnaring fumes just happens to be in my hand when I have three prep counters
But he falls for every bluff.
every single time.
Yeah, so I think it'll just be nicer if we don't play poker.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd feel bad then taking his money.
You know, he's a really fun guy. Terrible read on us. We just somehow bluff it out every time. But he actually got me on game one though. So I was happy to see it. I'm hoping he gets to learn a little bit more and starts feeling more confident.
I mean, last week when I was playing a different deck, he's like, "Do you have this card?" And I was like, "Of course I do." You know, the whole Ghostbusters thing. If somebody asks you if you're God, you say yes. So he played around that for 2 turns and allowed me to get the card. So he's like, "Oh man, you did have it." I'm like, "Yep."
I had it the whole time. But as for the regional, now the regionals I was playing my Fractals Jin, and I was very disappointed with how I played. I did not play very well. I had some absolutely wild games though. My round one, I got unfortunately a draw, which put me into the draw queue, and that is not a place you want to be in a regional. So I played Horse and Taxes round one, which was probably the deck I was hoping to avoid the most.
I mean, if you're in the like, if I was playing Rye and I happen to get in the draw queue, that would be where I'd want to be. Because they're all slow, like level 3 decks, and that's where Rye gets to just
Yeah,
feast. And all of the
not Fractals.
all the aggro decks are just going to be not in my lane.
Yeah, yeah. Like if
But most of the time, yeah, it's a bad place to be.
if I was playing aggro, I would try to intentionally get into the draw queue. Like that would be crazy. Just be like round one, hey, you want an ID? that'd be that'd be diabolical
I
though.
don't think people are going to agree to a round 1 ID though.
Probably not. But I mean, you can always try.
You'll have to
But
ask once.
um, as far as my round one goes, I played against Horse and Taxes, and I counterspelled his Vanitas 3 on turn 2, and he just scooped. And I was like, okay, you made the right decision scooping there. You were never going to kill me. And our deck lists were open, by the way, for this, because it was an online regional. Online regionals are approved by Weebs to be open deck list. So I had some crazy cards in there. My opponent asked me what like 10 of my cards did because he just was not familiar with Jin at all. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So I tell him what they do, and he looks them up just to confirm it. And he's like, man, I really don't know if I should be playing around the Seize Fate card. For those of you who don't know, Seize Fate just essentially you pay 4 to reverse the order of your HP. Instead of going up, you go down, and when you hit 0, you banish your champion and lose. So we're playing around, and game 2 was a like 50-minute stall fest. Felt completely terrible to play. I was always one card off getting there, and he just happened to have enough pressure to force me to lose. Never drew the burst asunder or the refracting missile that I needed, and that happens sometimes. I don't know how it took 45 minutes to do. I probably should have scooped a little bit sooner, but it always felt
Yeah, but
winnable.
you're already up a game, so
Yeah.
like wanting to scoop seems rough.
So
Because even if it went just a little bit longer, you'd win 1-0.
yeah. So that was there's an argument to be made that as soon as I didn't get like an early kill, I should have just scooped though. Um, or not an early kill. As soon as it went into like a 30 plus minute game, because I know I don't have men flushes in my deck, so I can't just recover down. As soon as I'm over 30, I have to kill him on that turn. So there's an argument to be made that as soon as I get to like 28 damage and I don't see a way for me to kill him in the next turn or two, I should just scoop right there instead of stall it for two more turns. Um, so I misplayed like that. Our game three, I would have very easily won because I had a super demanding lead. We just only had 5 minutes left in round to play it. So I got to level three and he was still level two on Pony Toss, which is a crazy place to be. And I had two Desperate Cavaliers on the field, just drawing two cards every
I
turn.
don't know how that game exists. I've never had Pony Toss take more than 2 turns to get to 3.
It existed like that because he was refusing to play Vanitas out of his deck because he was scared of getting
Oh yeah, because
negated.
you scared the crap out of him game 1. Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
so he just never did it again for the rest of the set. So he ended up taking like two turns off, just trying to set up enough influence to pay for a negate if he did go for it. And I just drew a fractal every single time and leveled up to three and had two Desperate Cavaliers, but time got called and I was like, ah well. He's like, man, you would have probably won this game. I was so far behind, and I was like, yeah, but sadly that's not how the cookie crumbles. So I got put in a draw. I got put a draw. Game two was against a really, really,
Round 2, not game 2.
or round two was against a really cool Fire Terror Kong Ming. Um, I don't exactly know how Fire Terror Kong Ming is supposed to be played. I'm super interested in it. I think I'm gonna brew one of those decks either before LA or slightly after LA when RDO is about to release because there's like a week window when it's not released and LA's over. Because as soon as RDO comes out, I'm probably gonna be brewing Jin decks all over again.
Well, LA is supposed to be the preview for RDO, so
Yeah, most of the cards will be released, but still taking like a few days to brew a deck that I'm not familiar with
it's fun.
doesn't hurt. Um, but it was a really cool list, and I just kind of outvalued him. We were both drawing like two cards a turn, and he's like, I've never seen a deck be able to match influence with Kong Ming. And I guess he's never played against Jin, because if you don't have a way to remove plate, Jin just draws cards like
Oh yeah.
like candy. So he ended up trying to go for a fireball kill in end step, and I negated it with glimmering refusal and just outvalued him. That's really what the game came down to. We were both just staring at each other, drawing cards infinitely, and eventually I had like 20 cards in hand and counterspelled Relentless Outburst, Burst Asunder, or Shimmering Refraction. I just played like 10 kill cards, and there's no way for him to stop that. Um, Game two, we ended up playing about 5 minutes of it, and he looked at my board. I was level three with four Desperate Cavaliers on the field, and he had no allies, and he was only level two. And he's like, "Yep, I'm scooping," and just scooped on the spot. I
I'm
had
pretty sure my killing them on site as fast as I can is the right call.
Oh, it is. I just
Okay.
had four of them in my hand when I went to three.
Oh, okay.
Or no, it was I had two of them in hand. Then the first Cavalier milled two Cavaliers, and I was like, "Well, what do you want to say?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just scooping. I lost the game on the spot." I was like, "Well, yeah, pretty much." So that was my round two. Round three was against a Seryu. I neglected the fact that Seiryu matchup is normally really Jin favored. It is one of Jin's best matchups aside from Tristan, excluding some shenaniganry that you can do with Baby Green. And I just completely misplayed the entire set. I played that set awfully. There's really no review need to be had. I just played bad. And the Seri player played good. So he 2-0'd me pretty
That's how
easily.
games go.
Yeah. So um round 3 or round 4 was against, let me check. I know I posted it. It was another kind of, I know who it was. It was against Water Sylvie, Slime Sylvie. And that was kind of in the reverse order. It was just a no review necessary game for him, set for him. I just negated everything he did, never let him get draws from his level 2, and just beat him down with dudes and eventually got a relentless outburst kill. And he didn't really have anything he could do about it. So, fun fact though, that is one of the guys who I'm meeting at regionals this weekend. He was a chess club member.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna meet him in person here in a few days. Um, get a get to ask his opinion of my Fractals Jin since he's part of a pro team, and he actually played against it. It sounded like he thought it was really cool. So
They like their out there decks.
yeah, if any team were gonna try Fractals Jin with me, it would be Chess Club. They're definitely an out there. Now that being said, I don't think they really play Jin or Fractals, so maybe they wouldn't play it.
Yeah, but maybe the combination.
Yeah. And as for my last round, this is probably the single craziest game of Grand Archive I've ever played. It was a 55-minute game 1 against Serene Wind Arasana. The round opens, and I open up a pretty standard hand, and he opens up, from what I could tell, a pretty bad hand. Uh, just passes turn immediately. I go into
Was he
two.
on the Looking Glass Unmixed version?
No,
Okay.
no, he was on the Lost Providence.
Okay.
So we're just kind of sitting there, getting into the swing of things. I end up getting my first like 2 or 3 draws is nothing but fractals. So I have, going into turn 3 or 4, I have like 5 fractals on the board, played as Zhang Zhao, and I'm like, okay, I might actually just be able to go for lethal here. And he gathers, in the span of this, he gathered 5 times. He hit 3 heal herbs, which was quite possibly the only way for him not to die. And I didn't realize they were heal herbs because he just had like a little notepad with the number herb it was, not necessarily saying what it is. Part of the reason why I don't like playing webcam, because he couldn't fit the herbs onto the screen. So that's why he did it that way.
That's another reason why I like the new play methods,
Yeah,
which we'll have a video out in the future about.
yeah. But nothing against this guy. He totally what he has to do, and I should have clarified what herbs he had before I went for kill. He ends up living on 1 life. Or would have lived for 1 life. I chose not to sack my fractals with Burst Asunder because it's a choice after they respond to everything. He would have lived on 1, and he had a blocker up in Unyielding Wraithguard. So my Zhang Zhao can get the final kill. That would have been funny though. The game went from like a 5-minute, 10-minute fractals early Burst Asunder kill into he goes to level 3. I get to just sit and stare at. We just start sitting and staring at each other as I go to level 3 with 2 dungeon guides the next turn. And I proceed to draw exactly 0 counterspells the rest of the game. Not a single one. And we go probably 10 turns in, and he goes for kill. Pushes me to exactly 32 life. I take 3 damage from plate, go to 35, and I activate a card I've never activated in my life until this moment. I play Seize Fate, which we talked about a little bit prior, that someone else was playing around. He was not. I get Seize Fate off, and I had a card in my banishment from a Desperate Cavalier. I go down to 33 life, and I end my turn there. And he's like, okay, so I have to get through your entire life pool all over again entirely. And I'm like, yes. We proceed to back and forth go through our turns. I'm just looking for that one counter spell. And eventually I go down to 1 life left. And I'm like, okay, I die from plate next turn. I don't have a fracturize to fracturize my plate to prevent myself from dying next turn. So I don't have any more time. I'm going to go for it. I play enough damage to kill him. He plays Spell Shield Astra, and I'm like, okay, I play Kill Spell over Spell Shield Astra. He plays Spell Shield Astra. I'm like, okay, I play another Kill Spell over it. He's like, okay, I'm going to play Nascent Barrier, pop my level herbs. This blocks exactly enough to stop you. The game ends. He has 1 life left, and I die to 1 life on me. And I'm like, okay, well, the cookie crumbled, and I drew 0 counterspells and got punished for it. So that's how games go. And after the fact, I was like, we don't really have time. I'm playing Fractals, so obviously I'm going to go for the tie because Fractals can burst asunder kill on turn 2.
Yeah.
It just happens sometimes. So we obviously still go to play the game. But I look at the next 3 cards of my deck. It was 2 counterspells and a fractal. I was like, well, I would have had it next turn. So that's how the game goes, though. It was a really fun match. It was probably the most fun match I had the entire tournament, even though I ended up losing it. I beat myself up about it a lot because I decided to take out Frostbinds from the list because I was like, I'm gonna try without Frostbinds. I don't think I need them. I'm gonna put some spicy cards in like the Sea's Fate, or I forget what else. I put something in instead of a Frostbind, um, as like a little scary one of for open deck lists. And I just really wish I had the 2 Frostbinds. So I'll keep that in mind for the future. But that was my tournament. I ended up dropping because I hate playing on webcam, and that was my experience at the regional.
So let's go into how webcams are, because I have never played on a webcam tournament and likely never will.
Yeah, I don't like playing on webcam, but when you don't have regionals in your area,
What about the webcams, though?
um, I don't like how hard it is to figure out information from just looking at your opponent's board. And it goes both ways. So a lot of my opponents, they were looking at my board and they're like, what's that card? Desperate Cavalier. I can't really read it. Can you explain what it does to me? And they pull it up off on the side, and they'd still need like clarifications, which is always something that happens in tournaments, but it just takes a little bit longer when you're on webcam because they have to ask multiple times just because they can't see what the card is.
So you both have to play like you're me.
Yeah.
That would take a long time.
Yeah. So also the webcams, I don't have that big of a desk, so my webcam space is very cramped, especially when I'm playing a deck like Fractals that has a lot of objects on the board. I start like flooding my webcam space, and I have to like adjust my board every single turn to
Could be
make
worse. You
sure.
could be playing Neo's Tony.
Yeah, well, I thought about it. I thought about it, but essentially, I like my board just fills up, and it's not like a playmat where you have extra space. You only have like half your playmat that's visible on the webcam, and you can't move your hands off the webcam at all, or else you'll get a DQ. because they don't know if you're like grabbing a extra card or something.
Makes sense.
So, which is valid. It's what should be, but it means that you don't really have that much freedom to move around. Um, Something that I did, and I don't know if it's what everyone does, and I hope everyone does it, is probably like three of my opponents, I could just see their full hand because of the way their webcam was positioned. And I was like, hey man, just so you know, I can see your hand. If you want to like pull it back a little bit, I don't exactly know what's in it. I just saw colors and I wanted to let you know. And they're like, okay, well, I have to have my webcam like this, or else you won't be able to see my hands, and I just get DQ'd anyway. So
That sounds like a problem. I mean, it's good that people can play across all sorts of different time zones and different places. Like that's nice, but yeah,
yeah,
that sounds obnoxious.
it really is, and especially if you're playing against someone who doesn't have as much to tell you that they can see your hand, because you're focusing on your game. You're not looking at what your webcam's showing. Now, from what I've experienced, every single person that I've played against and every single person I've played with has always said that their opponent will let them know. But obviously, you wouldn't know if they're not telling you. So it's kind of just a matter of integrity. Now, luckily, the GA community has a fair bit of it, so I've never had an opponent not tell me that my hand's visible, and then me look over and see that it is. And I've never not told my opponent that their hand is visible. So it's trying to mitigate that is the real matter.
Yeah.
Um, Also, it being open deck list is interesting, but I think as far as I go, it kind of punished me a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say if open deck list hurts or helps me because every single time I sat down, they're like, I don't know what to do against this deck, but I feel like it's not that big of an issue. So yeah, I don't know if the open deck list helped or hurt me. Um,
You could easily get in your own
Head.
head by analyzing the cards they put in. I mean, it's part of what we talked about is putting in some of those cards to
Yeah.
make them play in their head. But I think if I was in an open deck list situation, I would just scan the deck and see if there was something truly surprising, and then otherwise mostly forget about it. Like that
Yeah.
would be my goal is to not play around the trap cards. Like, cool, that might get me, but
Yeah.
on the other hand, they still have to draw the one of random
So
card they put in.
what I did whenever I was evaluating someone's deck is I would take like 2 seconds and I would just look for very specific cards that I'm worried about. Scatter Essence was a big one. I was like, okay, do you run Scatter Essence in main? Because if you do, I'm not gonna play around fractals at all. I'm just gonna go to 3 and play around Jin. And if they didn't, and they were running 4 copies of Stifling Trap, which one of my opponents was running 3, I was like, okay, I'm just never gonna play Dungeon Guide with the intention of leveling. I'm gonna just play more fractals and try to win through fractals. Um, and I think that approach to evaluating deck list was pretty important. I think looking at the material deck a little closer was definitely what you need to do, especially in mine, because I had an opponent who was like, "Oh, that was under the Grail. What?" Because as Jin, you really have 4 targets for your Quicksilver Grail. You have Swanji, you have Plate, you have Enfeebling Orb, you have um, Safeguard Amulet. But I put Chalice under because I was like, okay, I don't want them to like try to go for lethal on my turn because I can just flip the plate over. So I'm just gonna hold Chalice, and if they don't go for kill, then I'll flip over Chalice and be fine. And if they do go for kill, I'll flip Chalice anyway, draw 2, and then counter whatever they play.
Seems solid.
So it just let me have a little bit of pressure and all that. So they didn't end up going for kill, so it worked out. Um, I think that was in testing the like a few hours before I played the game though, so that wasn't during the tournament. Um, but it's just having an open deck list with with a Quicksilver Grill is really interesting because they know what you can put under, just making them guess which one it is.
Well, yeah, even more so than just
Yeah,
like normally you play this and that like okay, especially if you can hide some random things in like
yeah. I have some crazy new Jin decks brewing in my mind too. So I'm excited to be done with Fractals Jin a little bit, just so I can go and refine it and play a better version of it with the knowledge that I've gained through playing it at regionals. So
there's a deck archetype that I really want to work on. Has to be cleric. So
okay,
I've been thinking about the new Alice as a cleric.
yeah.
Uh, Chess going to level 3. You have to be level 3 clerics to specify. I love the buffeting hurricane and
Oh,
Imperious
yeah.
Galebind thing, and it was okay-ish. I didn't refine it more than seeing just proof of concept for Dao
So
Chan, but like I think there was just too many things you were trying to do, and I don't think I think you could make an Arasana version, but again, but Chess Alice might just be if you're like ignoring most of the chess stuff and using the fact that she can make the chess tokens and you can have the sacrifice to gain two to draw two off of, just putting
so
all those extra draw twos in.
actually, is there any chance that you run Chess Alice as a win con in that Spooky Alice deck that you're putting?
I mean, there's chance because
Because
like you just go up to three at some point in time, and then
yeah,
you're already playing the Imperious Galebind, and then it
and
just gives you
target
it's just an
sword.
alter win condition.
Yeah,
I mean, even suppressing the Galebind is a Fantasia. No,
Galebine's
the Buffeting Hurricane is a Fantasia.
it's
So
a
you can't
Fantasia.
Galebind it, but
Yeah.
it has a when it comes into play drawing a card too. So it's net neutral. It'll
No, it's only got that if you're a cleric.
right, but
So
so is the other part of it cleric based. So
yeah. But I'm
otherwise, it's just a generic Fantasia that counts towards Fantasias if you're not a cleric. So
yeah, I'm saying like because I think the way that you would play it is you just have it on the field for a few turns. You wouldn't level up, then play it. You'd play it and then let it sit there on the field, then level up when you have like two Galebines in hand, or like a Galebine
but you're only gonna in that
pastiche.
deck you'd only play one Buffeting Hurricane
Oh
anyways.
yeah,
It's just one of the like three or four kill cards that cycle through
yeah.
doing things. So
So I could definitely see that being a thing because I don't think there's like necessarily something you wouldn't mind see go away in that mat deck for a level 3 kill con.
no, there's a so in the other spooky Alice decks like that are very much Spectre based, the fire and the water ones, the haunt counters matter a lot,
Yeah.
right? Because you can play a bunch of stuff out of there. But in the Wind Umbra version, Vitae is like the only thing you can really play out of your graveyard. So the haunt, the Phantasmagoria is important because it cycles your graveyard
Yeah.
back through, but you don't need it to pile out a bunch of cards like you do in the other versions because
Yeah.
I'm not playing out of that. So the the key
The key could go.
very easily.
All right, we are back. We had a quite unfortunate malfunction. The OBS crashed and we lost our entire uh rant about Alice.
But we decided that we will do that as a future one and just kind of design a deck on the fly while we're talking in the future.
Or we could just do like a deck tech of an Alice
Yeah.
whenever all the level 3 stuff. We need to stop talking about Alice.
Yeah.
We'll be here for hours.
But I wanted to. So I had planned to go to Ascent Las Vegas. Traveling's hard for me, and I had plane tickets got, but I didn't have enough to buy the actual event ticket, and it sold out really fast, which is always unfortunate. It's a good sign for the game that it gets there. Um, and as the game gets more popular when it's in places like this, they'll probably feel more comfortable getting bigger venues, so a lot less of a cap on those things. And then I think because the Nationals is paired with the Ascent, there was a lot more tickets sold than there would have been.
Yeah.
Is all the people that are like, yeah, I'm qualified for Nationals, but if I don't make day two in Nationals, I want to play in the Ascent, so I'll just buy my ticket now.
Yeah. I definitely think it's more the latter than the former. Because Vegas has been host of a couple Grand Archive tournaments. It was the Worlds, for the first year. Um, they've never had an Ascent at Vegas, but I think there was a Nationals there too. But
I think that the pairing of the two makes the choices, and that would make sense as to why the
I mean, I think
cheapest tickets were
$60.
one of the first ones sold out.
Yeah.
The mid-level tier was the one that lasted the longest.
Yeah. And we're talking about that, but the 24 hours that tickets stay in carts is going to open up here in like 30 minutes. So there could be a flood of tickets coming back from people just having them in cart and then it timing out. That's what one of our buddies was suggesting. So,
But I had more unfortunate things going, so I'm gonna
yeah,
bow out of this.
but I am excited to go to Vegas to play one day whenever we do go as like a team or whatever. We're gonna bring the elemental deck out.
Yeah,
It'll be real fun. But that's a future tournament. It was what we were planning on doing in Vegas, but
I wasn't the only one that was gonna have a problem getting a ticket, so like we were
yeah.
down a lot of the teammates. So
Yeah, I think we had two people who weren't able to get tickets. I wasn't able to get a ticket. I snagged one from someone who sold it or refunded it because I think I snagged it in like the first 2 minutes it was up.
my other thing was I wouldn't be able to buy it till Tuesday, so even if the other ones went
Yeah,
on tonight, I wasn't gonna be able to get it.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was I'd have to wait and hope and pray that they were there, and I would rather guarantee that the plane tickets are have the better chance of the plane tickets being refunded.
yeah,
While I wouldn't mind, like if we had an Ascent here where we're at, I
yeah.
would go whether I had a ticket or not just to play the side events.
Oh yeah,
But I'm not going to fly halfway across the country and spend all that money to play side events. So
that is very true. I'm lucky because I got to plan an entire vacation around it because that's where my grandparents live. So I get to go and hang out with family and then uh do that whether or not I get a ticket. I did get a ticket, luckily, but um, so regardless of if I got one or not, I still had plans. But as far as other tournaments like LA, because LA was looking real spooky for me to get a ticket here for a second, because I think they only have like 3 tickets left.
yeah, but LA has tickets left this far out from it. Vegas was like it was gone by morning.
Yeah, but there's also a nationals attached to it.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I
Yeah.
think that's a huge part of it.
I think that's the main reason why is because there's probably gonna be like 300 players going for nationals, and there was a cap of I think 360 is what they announced for Vegas for the Ascent. So that's only like maybe 50, 60 more players
I
who
mean,
can
I'm
buy one.
hoping that we get popular enough and they stop putting these small tournaments up. I come from a world of Magic back in the day.
Yeah,
Like I've been involved in multi-thousand player Magic tournaments. Being famously, Vegas for quite a while was the one that kept setting caps for tournaments. They had like a 4,000 player plus
jeez,
tournament. They actually ran it as four Grand Prix, and
jeez,
then there was a separate top eight tournament. So the top two players from each of the Grand Prix got into that one final tournament to be crowned the winner of Vegas.
that's crazy. Look, Grand Archive, we can get there.
And then you're talking like they're playing 10, 11 games on day one, and then like 7 or 8 day two, and then cut to top eight, and then another top eight tournament after that for day three.
I think wanting them to increase the cap for tournaments is a good thing, but it's also, yeah, we have to keep in mind that even though the game is growing and they're still hitting cap at almost every tournament that they run, if they increase the cap too much, that could be a really bad move for
No, it'll look
Leaps.
empty, and then you have to, when you're running a convention, which is what it would be, even though it's a tournament,
Yeah,
you have to, having worked and run conventions or worked in the convention space, is when you're negotiating, you have to negotiate not only the cost of the space, which you can usually get that part back from the vendors you release it to,
Mhm.
but you have your price support, you have whoever you're paying for logistics for all those things. Then you have to guarantee X amount of rooms sold, X amount of refreshments and everything else sold through there. And if
Yeah,
you don't hit those caps, that comes out of your pocketbook.
yeah.
And then if you suddenly didn't hit the numbers to make that a break even, that is a lot of money. And also, you have to prepay for all that.
Oh yeah. And like when you look at Akihabara, that tournament was crazy. That was like a 700 player tournament, and those tickets sold out like 3 times. They could have probably opened up another round of tickets and sold out another round of tickets. There's just not venues that can change
No,
the
because
the
you have to
size of
book most of those
tournaments. Yeah,
things at there. And every time you open up a new space, especially if you're not doing in the initial,
yeah,
not only is that new space more expensive, but it's more expensive per like square foot
yeah,
or venue space because you're doing it later.
yeah.
So
So
no, I don't blame them for any of that. Like I said, I'm hoping we
yeah,
get to those things just because more people can come. But I also think maybe a good chunk of this space is reserved for Pantheon side events, which would make sense.
that could be that they're starting to have bigger venues but less steel space to have some side events. But I think that would be an overall bad move though, because
It depends on where you're at. So if
yeah,
you're, say, the Philippines or you're in New Zealand,
yeah,
where traveling to there is not as easy to get a bunch of players.
yeah.
Then having a bunch of side
Well,
space dedicated instead of doing Path of Silver or Path of Steel spots would be there, but like Vegas has however many major cities that are 4 to 8 hours away, and that's a lot of extra people coming.
yeah, I mean, there is also, well, OC has a very large player base in Grand Archive. Very large. So I think,
Yeah, but travel isn't 6 hours away for everybody. Like that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, their flights aren't that bad
Yeah, but
for
you're
the
still
OCU region.
flying
Driving,
versus
yeah.
driving, and like I didn't want to go just to play have a chance of only playing side events, a lot of money.
Yeah,
4 people get in a car, drive, share a hotel to play some side events isn't a bad idea. But if you're now plane tickets, the Uber from
yeah. The
there, like
hotel room.
the hotel room for all
Yeah.
that, like it adds
It
up
it
to
adds
just play
up.
side events.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it would be nice to have a what would you call it? More It would be nice to section off the tickets for people who are going to be playing in Nats a little bit more. So be like, if you qualify for Nats, you just get into Steel for free.
Yeah, if you fail to day two Nats, you get into steel. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be
that'd
fair,
be
and then that's already sectioned off, and you planned that
yeah,
because that
cause
would leave more tickets for everybody else to jump into.
yeah, but that's also like counting into the size of venue you're going to be anyway, because you should be able to about guess how many people are going to be capable of qualifying.
Yeah, but Vegas currently in the U.S. is a rough guess. Like I mean, you're going to be big, so you can guess on the higher end, but it's still not as easy as I want the big convention center.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, the size of convention center they're using, there's like 1,500 of them in Vegas.
Yeah,
But once you go up another size category, that drops down quite a bit.
that is fair. So I don't know. I think they could. I think that they're doing a pretty good job at guesstimating how many people are going to be attending events so far.
I mean, it has a different feel than the other games because there's other games like Lorcana right now is like a tale of two cities for most. The local scene for a lot of locals that I've heard about has been dropping down, but their tournaments have been increasing. They're
Yeah.
selling out faster and everything else, but the locals is the pipeline that feeds those, so it's a short-term like gain to a point.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, freaking Ascent Niagara was, I think, the perfect venue size. There was definitely issues with the venue. VIP, from what I've heard, was not very good. Um, I don't know if that was on Weebs more than it was on the venue itself. I think it was probably leaning towards Weebs,
well,
but
as the person known, again, my convention experience,
yeah,
um, a lot of times, like, yeah, you want to do better menus, you want to do snacks and stuff in there, but you can't bring in outside food to that hotel.
mm,
So you're still relying on
beholden.
their kitchen to provide what they say.
Yeah,
And a, a lot of times these convention centers are professional. They don't care who it is there, they're going to do their job.
yeah,
But then other times they're like, oh, that's geeky. Like you're not a medical conference. And so they just phone it in and it's bad. I've been to one
yeah,
where they were supposed to do, I mean, it's back a ways, but they were supposed to be a certain price point of beer available the whole weekend. And they decided that the Thursday event, where we have the least amount of players, because people aren't taking Thursday off, but they're taking Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off,
yeah.
didn't sell that much beer, so they didn't order anymore.
Oh wow.
So Friday at 6 p.m., they ran out of beer. And they're like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. And I was like, well, luckily, you can get whoever manager's on the phone. And they're like, well, they'd have to authorize things. And like, but we can't just order it. And I was like, we're in Colorado. The beer you're supposed to be providing is Coors Light.
Yeah,
So guess what? You can order emergency orders of that 24 hours a day. Like,
yeah.
it's going to cost you more, but that's on you for
Messing up.
messing up. So enjoy ordering your beer.
Yeah, but the size of the venue was perfect, and it reminds me of like Ascent Seattle that I also went to was similar. It was a bigger venue because there was more players, but they always do a really good job at sizing the venues correctly. Now, from what I understand, that wasn't quite the case at what was it? Immediately after Niagara, Christchurch? No. Um,
That was
Melbourne? No.
it was I want to say Thailand, it's not Thailand. It's
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the one in Taipei.
yeah, it was.
No, that was the one before Niagara, I think.
Then it was New Zealand.
Yeah, it was the New Zealand
Auckland.
Auckland. That's what it was. Yeah.
Like it was there was those three
Yeah,
there.
they were all like they were all like 3 weeks apart.
Yeah.
But Auckland, I think the venue was probably a little too big because it was a remarkably small ascent. Part of it is because it's in New Zealand, one of the hardest places to get to for most people.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm saying. Like that area of the world has a lot of players, but like you're still flying internationally to get to
yeah,
Auckland. Like you're not gonna go and play side events.
yeah. So, because I think Auckland only had like 117 players or something like that.
Yes, it was extremely small, but the people that did go were like the ELO for that tournament was insane.
Yeah, I think it was like the highest rated tournament ever with the smallest amount of players ever for an Ascent. I think it was even smaller than some of their early stuff, like Ascent Houston back in 2023. But yeah, Auckland, the final of Auckland, the final decks that made it were pretty cool because it was Fractals versus Razorgale.
It was not fractals.
Oh no, he was on.
It was Cayman, but it
Yeah.
was not fractals.
Every time I think about Caven in tops, I always think that he's on Fractals.
He was on
He was on Fire Lord.
Fire Lorraine.
Yeah. I played Isaac at Niagara, and he was on a similar list. I think either similar or the same list.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of them that took some version of Fire Lorraine or Fire Merlin to like the 3 or 4 ascents right around there.
Yeah. Because it's just like a generically good deck that pilots pretty easily.
Yeah, that was it was starting in Niagara or was starting right after Niagara. I think it was starting in Niagara. And then that's just kind of what a whole bunch of them took for the next three
Yeah.
or four. Akihabara was the last one. They all took that too.
I wanted so bad for Ryle not to be banned because I was dead set on bringing Jin to Niagara. I was like, I'm bringing freaking uh Ryle the Abyss Jin. I don't care if I get pony tossed. Jin's my favorite champion. I'm taking him, and this is the best he's ever felt. And then they banned Ryle, and he dropped off the face of the earth until PTM came out, and now he's kind of doing good again. The
I
and
was worried with Ryle being banned that we would see the level 3 decks go away,
yeah,
but because it was nice that they were all opened up and they were being played, but they didn't go away. And I think right now we have such a variety of level 3 decks, so many different draw engines.
I'm ready for there to be another set where there's like three really good decks. That way I can make a Jin that's tailor made to destroy them.
I don't actually think we're ever get back to that.
You don't think so?
I really don't.
I think we will.
I think there's enough champions now, and people learned this lesson from here of just you can force your champion to do decent in the playstyle.
Yeah.
And I think and that's what Grand
You
Archive lends to things.
you just need to have a really good game plan for what you want your champion to do.
Right. And I think people are getting that more. And then especially
Yeah.
once we get RDO in and everybody gets some more things, I think there's just so many cards for so many champions that you're not just going to file down anymore.
Look, RDO is Tony's time. He will have his moment in the sun.
Now, if Tony can be there for a while, that's fine. I don't have a problem. Each champion should get their time in the sun, especially the one that's all about creation, which is kind of, a sun thing. Like,
You know
deserves
what?
it.
You know what would be
Guardians in general deserve it. I mean, I guess,
CL's a menace.
no, it's not. It's a menace of the mid tables. It's a
Yeah.
gatekeeping deck, but it's not a top deck.
No, probably
There's
not.
differences. Like, it's not a bad deck,
Yeah.
but there's a difference between not being a bad deck and it occasionally can get there. And then famously in Warhammer, these happen all the time. There's
Yeah.
what's called gatekeeping lists.
Yeah.
Like Knights, a lot of times are gatekeeping lists or a big
Okay.
Nurgle heavy list. Like it's just such a stat check, or a stat check army would be another thing. Like if you're going to win the tournament, you're going to face against this deck and you have to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
But all the top players are going to handle it.
Yeah.
So you're the menace of the mid-tier tables.
You know what would be the most wild meta next season if it's like Alan is super good, Tony's super good, and
Sylvie back.
Lorraine's awful. Sylvie's really good, but you're using Loved by All instead of
Yeah.
Slime Sovereign. Like it's just all the champions that are just terrible are just the menaces of the format. That would be great.
That'd be crazy. I mean, I don't think it would last forever. Like it wouldn't be a complete
no.
flip. It would be like one, maybe two ascents in the regionals and star champs in between, and that'd be about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm here for it. I would be so down.
I mean, that being said, if they banned Topsy Decree tomorrow, which isn't a banned and restricted list, that's what I'm saying, and there's no talk of it, and I don't think it's going to be banned, CL would be a menace.
So after playing with Topsy quite a bit, I've gone from being like, man, I hate Topsy. I want it gone. It's so boring to play against. And then I was like, man, if they're just playing Topsy, it's kind of just a dead card sometimes. Sometimes it's just really bad. It's just not that good. Into CL, it's super good. Into any deck that is like, oh, I'm gonna just play Gentle Respite, pass, and hope you don't have a Topsy. Like sometimes you're gonna get a game where you're able to punish people who do that, but even then they were already playing as if they were gonna go down. They just take a turn off.
Yeah.
So like unless you double Topsy people, I've been double Topsy. That is BM and I hate it, and that made me really want Topsy to be banned. But like at the end of the day, that's gonna happen.
I think, yeah, it's filed down to being more occasional, and it's filed down to you can relatively play around it. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to shut off more decks than it did.
Yeah.
And it did for a little bit. But then
But
you have like Superior who was like, nah, it's cool. You can have all your graveyard hate. I'll just win.
yeah.
I was like, okay.
Nah, I'd win.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, sure, buddy. Like, we have a water Genbu player as well that got there just before he's out of town for the month, but
Yeah.
yeah, he got there through all of our hate too, and I was like, okay, so be it.
Not against me. I
Ah.
I don't know how. I'm just like, yeah, you're going for that play. I'm gonna just play Topsy and banish all your cards. I
And
have
then
two
even
cards
the
in
other
library.
like heavy graveyard mill deck, which would be Nico,
Yeah.
still plays differently enough that
Topsy doesn't affect Nico at all.
no. I think the deck it hurts the two decks Topsy hurts the most, I think is Fire CL, which
Oh yeah.
unfortunately I think it just needs to be there.
Yeah.
Like you guys have to be the middle tables or you'll be the only thing in the top eight, and that would be not fun.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Water Diana, but Water Diana just gets there sometimes. If you don't have the answers right on cue, they are just consistent in pushing
I
those
think
things.
it really hurts Fire Xander quite a bit if you get it on turn one.
Yeah.
If you get it on turn one against Fire Xander and they kept a remotely greedy hand at all, the game's over. It's so hard to recover because you have about a 30% chance every turn of drawing, or every time you draw, of drawing a Luxem card. Because you run 20 Luxems, then 40 non-Luxem.
Yeah, that I mean I play the win version, but that always feels weird because you're just like, I need more Luxem cards. But on the other hand, I don't want more Luxem cards. Like,
No, the answer is you're level 1 and 2, I don't want Luxem cards. You're level 3, I want every single Luxem card in my deck. And so if you keep like a Lightweaver's Assault in your hand because you just happen to hit two of them and you really don't want to bottom both, and you have like no good turn one plays other than just like Gentle Respite Pass, you can get punished so hard by a Topsy, which I mean happens, but
on the other hand, if they don't have it, you just accelerated
oh
smoothly
yeah,
past, and so it's fine.
like there's a payoff, but Topsy does shut down Fire Xander quite a bit. It's one of the reasons why I decided not to play Fire Xander for the rest of the season at the moment, because I just don't like decks that just lose on turn one if the opponent has it. Um, Also, I don't really like decks that just lose to a deck 99% of the time. Uh, Me losing that Store Champs hurt really bad. I was so not happy because I mean my opponent played well. I somehow took game one off Ponytoss, but in a best of three, the likelihood of you ever beating a Ponytoss as any flavor of Luxem Xander is very low.
I actually got real. I mean, the week after, I got really close with my win. Both the games, I still lost.
Yeah,
Like I dodged my taxes, I got there, and then like yeah, there was no Luxem cards to be seen.
yeah.
Um, and that was one of the times where Topsy Decree was killing me
Yeah.
because I had both those games. I was holding on to three Topsy Decrees because they are pretty bad in that matchup.
Uh, it depends.
They're
So
good in the first turn, maybe two, and then they are
it's really
just bad.
it's really funny if they're going to Turbo and they play like uh Delu and they're like, okay, I'm playing Delu. I have three cards in memory. Any response? And it's like, okay, on the activation of Delu, I Topsy Decree, make you discard a card.
Right, but then
So,
as soon as they're at Vanitas level 3, it's just
so yeah, but
you're just
like,
holding on to a dead card.
look, the answer is we just play Topsies every turn so they can't get to Vanitas 3. That is our win con. Just don't let them get there. That's why people were starting to move into Water Xander, because you would get like maybe two Frostbinds. You would get Shroud and Mist for the Ponytoss and the Tristan matchup, and you would just stealth yourself.
I mean, dodging the taxes felt really good as wind. Like that felt
Yeah.
pretty easy to dodge my taxes between calming breezes, resolute stands, and
Yeah.
vanishes and stuff. But
Yeah, I really was yeah, I just getting traumatized by having a near guaranteed loss in finals of a store champ just made me go, okay, maybe Luxemzander's not the one for me when Pony Toss is playable. Because Pony Toss is very popular right now. I think
it's a solid deck.
yeah, I think there was like 10 Pony Toss players on the webcam regional I played in, which 10 of any deck was relatively high. Um,
That's another version of one of those stat check gatekeeping
yeah,
mid-table decks, but it has, since it's so much faster on top of things and consistent that it wins more.
yeah,
I really need to just sit down and learn how to play against that deck.
yeah. I need to.
No offense to our
Well,
local one. I don't want him to feel bad, but on the other hand, I'm also done losing all the time automatically.
yeah. I mean, well, he also is the only Pony Toss player, and he doesn't play it every week. He plays it like when he's about to go play at a tournament.
Well, he's been playing it for the last like 3 or 4 weeks.
Has
So
he?
yeah,
Oh, well. Normally he's playing like some crazy crackpot Tony deck.
because he played at the store champs and then the next two every other week locals.
Oh, okay. I have not played him since the store
But he's
champs.
planning on going to different regionals and stuff like that, so that's
Yeah,
why he's not stopping.
that's fair. He was on the webcam.
Yeah.
We had a similar score line, except I think he got one win and two losses, then dropped, and I got two wins, two losses, and one tied, then dropped.
Yeah, you both lost to Sirius on the same round.
Did we?
Yes. Because I was making comments in the thing, like, go get, like, kill the dragons, and then, like, I had to go do other things. I had to go run
Yeah.
my Alamo Draft House game,
Yeah.
and, like, when I came back, you guys were both like, I lost, and now we're done. Like, it's like, oh, well,
Yeah. I normally for every tournament I play out every round except for webcam. I just can't stomach playing 7 rounds with webcam that I don't need to. So
and with that happy note, I think we're at quite a long thing, so we should probably,
yeah. What do you got going on next week?
I think, 2 locals.
Okay.
Um, think that is all. I don't have any D&D and I'm not playing Magic, which I did play Magic. I forgot to mention that, but
Hmm.
just because of my wife's birthday, so we're not playing on Friday. But
Oh, that's fun. Well, at least you got that going on. So
I mean, there's a small chance we still go play Commander. Um, my son was told by my wife because his little cousins are coming over
yeah.
that she's not just sitting there while the rest of us go with the two of them. But if he wants to do something, he's very convincing. So he could convince one or both of them to go and then convince her to let them all go. And then suddenly I have all of them by myself.
He's a little future politician.
Oh, yes. Like he can argue and doesn't back down. Like it is a good thing for the future. It is frustrating as hell right now.
Well, that'll be fun. So you got two Grand Archive stuff, maybe some Magic, wife's birthday. Sounds like fun. And I am actually leaving in like freaking 7 hours to go to a regionals in Phoenix. I'm not sold on what list I'm bringing yet. It's going to either be Fractals or Gin Fractals.
On the other hand, you are in a house with Team Chess Club, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like you guys might not just come up with a crazy 2 a.m. deck list anyways and do that.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We have to see if they like me first.
Yeah.
They might be like, yeah, this guy's a dick.
Well, no, I liked you enough to invite you, so.
That is true. That is true. But
And I think Pickle Sword likes almost everybody.
that's true. He's a really nice guy.
So that's two
I think
very influential members of chess clubs. So
I think
you're
I've
all right.
I think I've met like 3 chess club members and they've all had positive.
Plus, you were talking about the one guy that was really nice that you
Yeah.
met and played against. So I think
Yeah.
you're good.
Probably, but say lovey.
Or you can just mess with them. Like, oh, I'm gonna send out whatever deck you guys. But what are you guys talking about? And just mess with their heads.
Yeah, instantly get kicked out. You know? But other than that, I'm playing Wednesday locals. I don't know if I'm gonna go to Monday locals because I'm driving back from Phoenix on Sunday night and then have to go to have
I'm
to
gonna
go to
place a
work.
bet that he's gonna be there.
I'm gonna, you know what? If we're betting, then I'm not going.
I'm not betting against you.
Who are you betting against?
Okay. It's for you to find out later.
Well, I can
What if
either.
I share the what I win?
Well, then I can help you. It's insider trading, you
Right?
know?
Once again, it's authoritarian dictatorship here.
It's true. Help.
Nobody said this has to be fair.
Let me help you be a dictator. Come on. But other than that, think I think I'm just kind of chilling. I'm going out of town next week as well, but that's not for any card game stuff. So we can talk about that next week though,
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
because I'll be here for recording day. But other than that, thanks you guys for listening to the podcast. We'll have a name for it hopefully in a week or two. But other than that, anything else for you?
No, that's it.
All right. See you guys
Peace.
later.
Be welcoming, be an advocate for the community. See you at the table.